If you're an expectant mom and are interested to know how I had a fast natural delivery without epidural, then keep on watching. Hi everyone, this is Liana. Welcome to my channel Life with Bob. So today I'm going to share with everyone my birthing experiences and how I had it fast, natural and without epidural. So moving to when I was 38 weeks pregnant, there are still no signs of me going into labor, and I was really concerned because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So I really do wish my baby to come out as soon as possible. So what I ended up doing is, because that time is during winter, so there's no way that I can go out for exercise or for a walk. So I stayed in the house and I walked up and down the stairs probably about 20 times each day. And I guess I did some squattings as well, just to have my baby to be induced. And also they said that squatting and walking can actually help with fast delivery, because from the start I've already decided to try my best to give natural birth. So at 38 weeks, I have been walking up and down the stairs for 20 times per day, and then at 39 weeks plus 3 days, I think that day my water broke at around 8 p.m. And by the way, for first time expecting moms, water broke doesn't mean that gushes water just gushing out like that, okay? So for me, it is like leaking pee, but I do know for a fact that it wasn't pee because I just went to the washroom like 1-2 seconds ago. There's no way that I will have pee in the next 2 seconds. So I called the hospital and I explained what happened to the nurse, and at that point of time no contractions felt, but I just know that my water broke. So the nurse told me to come into the hospital. I have co-workers and some experienced moms told me that water broke doesn't mean that the baby is coming out right away like how it shows in the movies. No, it doesn't work that way. So I took my time to take a shower, which I did, because if I was in the hospital, there's no way I can go take a shower and I'll be like sweating and I'll look really nasty. So I took a shower at home and I went to the hospital about 9 p.m. The nurse did an internal check, which means that she checked my cervix, and she was like, oh, you're just 2 centimeters dilated. And she recommended me to walk in the hospital for 2 hours. So I walked around the hospital from pretty much from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. that day. And my first contraction is actually at around 10 p.m. So when I first had it, I'm like, oh, so this is how it is, because it feels like period cramps at that point of time. It's bearable, it's not that painful. And it is about 15 minutes between each contraction. I have an app to record down my contractions and how intense it is, and between the time intervals and how long each contraction lasts, because that really helps for you to know if your labor is coming close and that kind of thing. And then when it's close to 11 p.m., that's when my contractions feels really intense, and the time between each contractions get reduced to about 5 to 6 minutes. And that's when I actually know that my labor is coming close, because I did a lot of research. I look up a lot of other YouTubers who explain how their labors are like as well, and things like that. So I know from 5 to 6 minutes, I'm pretty much getting there. So at 11 p.m. I was admitted to the hospital, and I asked the nurse, are you not going to give me your check? Like, how do you know how dilated I am and stuff like that? Because she already hooked me up with like all the wires, all the gel pads, electrodes and everything like that to track the baby's heartbeat and also my contraction frequency. But the nurse was like, oh, you're a first-time mom, so you should take you will take quite a bit of time. It's not going to be that quick, so just take a rest and stuff like that. So she just got me to the bed, and at 11 p.m. it's pretty painful. It just feels like 10 bones are cracking at the same time. That's literally how I felt. That day I had my dinner around 6 or 7 p.m. but at 11 p.m. I was already hungry. So for any moms, if you are packing hospital bags, if you are going to the hospital, try to bring yourself like some sugar drinks that will help you to gain the energy, and also prepare some chocolates too. Chocolates can help you to get the energy that you need later on to push the baby out. But I didn't have any of that, so at that point in time I was in pain, I was hungry, and I was sleepy too. So at around 12 a.m. The pain is just getting unbearable, and it hurts a lot. So I actually, in a hospital bag, I actually packed a lot of things to help me to alleviate the pain, or I think it may help me to alleviate the pain. So before that, I have attended prenatal classes, and the nurse there recommended us to get something like that. That is a sock and 2 tennis balls. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna put the tennis ball inside the socks like that. And that's when the support person is helpful right now. So you can get your husband, your mom, or whoever the support person is to do this and roll up and down your bag. At that point of time, you will know for sure what you need. Yes, you will be very precise to your support person, like how you want them to roll on your back to alleviate the pain. So whatever you think that is helpful, but I think this is probably pretty helpful, and it's something easy to get. And also when you are in serious pain, also taking a deep breath in and taking a deep breath out can help a lot. And one thing that I did not bring to the hospital, which I kind of think I should, is a stress ball. Because when you are in pain, you need to squeeze something. And because I don't have a stress ball and the pain was unbearable, so I was pretty much squeezing my husband's hand. I don't know if he bruises later on, but I'm pretty sure I squeezed pretty hard. So if you can get yourself a stress ball to bring to the hospital. That helps you to alleviate the pain as well. So for my case, I ring the bell to get a nursing again, and before they do any checkup on me, they just assume that I'm still pretty far from going into labor, and they suggested me to take morphine. You cannot take morphine if you were going to have the baby out in less than 4 hours. So because they think that I'm going to take longer than that, so they suggested me to take morphine because they don't foresee that my baby's coming out in the next 4 hours. And I say whatever helps. So they injected me with morphine, and then it doesn't really help with my pain relief at all. Like, it doesn't. So I don't recommend anyone to take the risk to have the morphine, because what if your baby is going to come out in the next 4 hours, right? So at around, I guess, 1 or 2 a.m., or about 2 a.m. I think, that's when my contractions, it's 1 to 2 minutes in between each contractions. Pretty much I think that I'm going into labor. So I get the nursing again. I'm like, you have to check me because I think I'm going into labor. And the nurse checked my cervix and she said, oh, I don't feel any cervix anymore. I was like, what do you mean by you don't feel any cervix? She said, that means that you're fully dilated. And that was at 2 a.m. I'm like, what do you mean by fully dilated? So does that mean that I can't do epidural at all? She go, yeah, it's too late for you to inject epidural because it may be harmful to the baby. I don't know, but I just can't do epidural at that point in time. So then I have to have a natural birth without epidural. And I probably spent about 30 to 40 minutes pushing the baby out, and my baby was out at 2:39 a.m. But during that point of time, another reason why I think that support person is very important, because the nurse will teach you how to push the baby out, and you will keep your mouth shut, like just like that, and without any screamings, without any sound, because they want you to restore the energy to push the baby out and not having energy to scream or to talk and etc. like that. So to stop me from screaming, because I was screaming because I was in pain. So obviously I'm screaming, and the nurse was like, no, you can't scream. So I restore my energy, and all my energy are used to push the baby out. And each and every time when the contraction comes, that's when you're actually going to use your strength to push the baby out. And when you push the baby out, you're actually holding your breath in. So when I was holding the breath for during each contraction and trying to push the baby out, my husband is there counting for me. He's like 10, 9, 8, 7, and I find it really helpful because that helps me to think, okay, when I can breathe in again, because I've been holding my breath and I don't know how long am I going to hold the breath for. So yeah, that's why I find that the support person is really helpful if you can get one. Many of the people will ask me, so are there tears, torns when you have natural birth? And the answer is, of course. My baby weighs about 7 pounds and 5 ounces, and I have natural tear. So I had about 10 to 15 stitches, I think. So that's gonna happen. So overall, my birthing experience is not the best with that hospital, because the nurse just refused to do an internal check for me. So they don't even know that if I was fully dilated. But from my first contraction till when the baby's out, I only used less than 4 hours. And the actual in labor time, which means the actual pushing the baby out time, it is probably about 20 to 30 minutes, and I push the baby out. For a first-time mom, this is pretty fast. Even though I didn't choose in the beginning to have it without epidural, in fact, I was really hoping to get epidural, but I kind of relieved that I did not have the option to get epidural done, because I have friends who had epidural, and after a few months, even 1-2 years later, they said there is actually some side effect of epidural. They're still having back aches and things like that. So if you do have the option, or if you're someone with a high pain tolerance level and you can go without epidural, then do it without epidural. Yeah, whatever makes it comfortable for you. This is all I have for my birthing experiences, and I have mentioned everything that I did during and before labor to help me to induce my labor, and also try to make my natural birth as fast as possible. If you do like my content, please click on the subscribe button below and turn on your notifications so that you'll be notified for each new video I upload. So for my next video, I am going to say the step-by-step process from when you are pregnant till the day of delivery, and that is the steps that's here in Canada. Like I'll be explaining when do you book an appointment to see the doctor, and when do you do the checkups and everything like that. So if you do want to know the steps of delivering a baby here in Canada, please keep an eye on my next video. And bye for now.